Check.
Miss Bailey Coleman.
How y'all doing? Everybody good? Everybody good? Thanks to everyone for coming out this afternoon. Before we get started, I don't usually do this, but you know, we have a member of our team that's not here with us, and he was going to rep V-100.7 this afternoon on our panel. And unfortunately, he's not here with us. And I wish you guys would all stand with me and take a moment. Where's Minister Hood at? I'm going to ask Minister Hood to come and give us a quick prayer. And we pray for the speedy recovery of one of our own, of Dr. B.
How many of you believe in prayer? Okay, we're going to go to the throne of grace because we know if God can do anything, he can do everything. There's no failure in our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time of sharing. It's in you we live, we move, and we have our being. We just want to say thank you, first of all, for being God. Before we ask you for anything, we just want to thank you for life, health, and strength, for another opportunity to be here with you. Now, Father, as we come for our brother, Doc B, Father, we ask that you, even in the hospital, Father, right now, we know that you can do anything. You say, well, 2 or 3 are gathered together in your name, and we are here right now in your name. You say, if we touch and agree and believe by faith, you said you would do it for us right now. By faith, it is done. We ask that you dispatch angels of protection around that hospital room right now. Cover him with your blood. Cover him with your protection. It is done for the asking in Jesus' name. Now, even for this event, this seminar, Father, we ask that you feed our knowledge, our yearning to learn more about music. This we ask in the name of the Father, Son, and of your Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. So now that we've done that, I want to thank Knowledge. Knowledge is representing V100 on our panel today. And I want to thank him for stepping up and stepping in the gap for Dr. B. Now, we do this because we want to give all of you the opportunity to see the people that are on this panel and get one-on-one professional information on how you can make it in the music business. These are people, these are executive VPs of labels, people you don't see on a daily basis. And they're here to give you their information and information to help you make it in the music business. Plus, we have artists here. Shout out to John Brown from Universal Records and my guy Yung Joc from Jive Records for coming out. Lloyd will be with us later on this afternoon performing live here as well. And Sean Garrett will also be here, so we got to shout Sean Garrett out as well. And you know what? It's all about you getting the information and learning. And by the way, in case you didn't know, Sean Garrett is one of the biggest singer-songwriters in the business today. Some of the records that you know or may have heard and you didn't know who wrote them, he wrote them, like Get Me Bodied. You know, you guys love that record, right? Is that the jam? Beyonce, Get Me Bodied? Yeah, all the ladies in the room love that one, right? Goodies from Sierra. We did a whole hour this morning of just Sean Garrett music. So when he gets in, you're going to want to hear everything he has to say, as well as Yung Joc. Yung Joc has a tremendous story to tell. And we always bring a newbie, you know, someone that's new in the music business to tell you about their new experiences. And John Brown is here to help us out with that, all right? So without further ado, my guy Reggie Smooth as Butter Brown, that does afternoons on V100.7, and DJ Hot Sauce are going to be your moderators this afternoon. Mike Love and Minister Hood are going to help in the question and answer segment as well, all right? Put your hands together, y'all. Ready?
Thank you, Bells. You all right? All right. Have a glass of water on me, Bells. It's all good. Everybody's all right? Who's really trying to make it in the industry? Who? That's good. That's what's up. You're serious about your work, so that's all good. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the panel, too. What's up, everybody? I sing and play tambourine if y'all looking for anybody. You know, especially you, Yung Joc. Let me borrow them diamonds. It's all good. All right. I know you all have questions. I'm going to kick the questions off. There's a microphone right here. You can come on up, and you can line up if you have questions. I know you all do. My first question is, and anyone on the panel can answer this, what do you look for in a new artist? What is it that you look for in a new artist? Somebody raw talent, something you've never seen before. Let me direct it to this guy in the middle right there. He discovered R. Kelly. I was the first DJ to play our R. Kelly song on the radio, by the way. Wayne Williams, Jive Records. Give him a hand, everybody. What up, Wayne?
What's going on? Good morning, Milwaukee. How you guys doing? Well, I look for a lot of things. I think that, obviously talent is important. A lot of times I look for self-contained talent. People who sing and write. I think that's important, that the singer writes their own material, because they tend to sing it with a lot more feeling, and you believe it more, which means your fans believe you more. I also look for work ethic too. I think that's important. And I don't know, I'm not sure how many other A&R people up here, but I think that for me, work ethic's very important, because this business is not an easy business. It's very hard, and a lot of times you just see the glory of the business, but these artists put a lot of work into their craft, and it takes a lot of hard work. I was just talking to Yung Joc back in the back, and I'm an admirer of his, because I know the kind of work that he puts in as an artist, as well as a record executive too, because he's all of that. I mean, he does everything, and that's a quality that I admire, maybe more than the talent itself, the fact that you're going to work your ass off and I can depend on you to do that. So for me, all of that is very important for me.
All right. I know we have questions. Where are the questions? We got them.
You know something?
Yeah.
Rich.
Mike Love over there, DJ Hot Sauce over there in the orange. What's going on, bruh?
Everybody should have got one of these State Farm fill out these that are on your seats. You have an opportunity to win $1,000 worth of equipment, musical equipment, that we'll be giving away Monday on the air. So fill these out. They have State Farm on the top. Fill out the questionnaire. Drop it on the table. There's a box on the State Farm table, and you got an opportunity to win $1,000 worth of equipment.
$1,000. I didn't fill one out.
No, you're not eligible.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about it, though.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We got some other prizes we're giving away too. Anybody have cell phones? Get ready to text. We got some text contests coming up in a few, so get ready. How important, let me ask the panel, how important, and I know how important it is, but explain to our audience, how important is the internet, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, in the music industry today? Anyone? Who's that in the back? John Brown? John Brown. What's happening, homie?
What's up? What's up? What up, Milwaukee? Y'all all right? That's what's up. Y'all gotta get some energy up in here. Y'all all right? No, but to answer that question, it's extremely important in terms of the industry, because the internet is everything today. That's the way I got signed, through MySpace. A couple of cats discovered me off of there, and then after that, I was in my situation. So I strongly suggest that you utilize the internet, especially considering the fact that it's free. You can't beat that. So that's my honest answer for anyone that's trying to get into that. Utilize the internet. Whatever you can do, you can't beat it, man. It's free, so it's worldwide exposure. So go for it, in my opinion.
Okay, all right. Good looking out, John. I like that last name, brother. Go ahead. Morris.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. All right. I think one of the artists on our label that has been the most successful for us and really kind of led his own campaign, that was Trey Songz. If you guys are familiar with his grind, it's over the last few years, it's been like none other. Trey was one who, put the mixtapes out there. He was someone that was always on Twitter, on Facebook, gathering all his fans. He was very, very aggressive in his campaign. Anytime we asked him to do anything, and this goes back to the previous question regarding work ethic, there was nothing that you asked him to do that he didn't do. And you see the fruits of his efforts every time he hits the streets, every time he would go out in markets where we would not even, and this is in the beginning stages, in markets where we had no airplay whatsoever. I remember going into Philly on one of his first promotions. We did like a Unity Day thing with WUSL, KKV's sister station there, and you saw thousands of kids, not just kids, but you saw a really, really broad demographic that Trey hit. I mean, there were kids coming up to him that were like 5 years old, and you saw adults coming up to him as well. But the thing that was key with his campaign, which I'm not going to sit here and lie about, we learned a lot from him, and we applied that to every other campaign that we ran with other artists, like T.I. I mean, with just so many, everything that we worked, we used that information that came from just watching Trey at work. But the thing that was most amazing is that people connected with him and his music and who he was. And that's what you really want as an artist, even as a producer or even writer. You want people to connect with you and who you are, and that's going to be the glue that keeps them right on your tail.
This is Craig Davis, Capitol Records. 5 years ago, to break a new artist, you had to do the radio campaign, you had to go out on the streets, you had flyers, you had stickers, posters. Today, with the internet, you can virtually write your own ticket to become famous. If you get a great grind out there on the internet, you have the Facebook, you have the MySpace, you have all those indicators tweeting, that can break you. We had a group last year, Cali Swag District. Even before they were signed, they had 2 million hits. So that was just a jump. The internet is as John just said, the internet is such a cheap form of advertising. You know, you can get your own camera, throw out your own video. You know, you can make your own Facebook page. That's the new start. That's where the industry is really headed to.
But you know what? And two, I'm Cynthia Johnson with Columbia Records. How's everybody doing? But if you think about it, the internet and Facebook, YouTube, especially YouTube, it takes an artist or whatever anybody's doing, and it puts it on a national, almost like a national front, because you'll see some artist or whatever who has, like, we were just looking at somebody earlier who had 77 million hits. It's a little girl, I think she's like 13 years old, I can't remember her name, and she's got this record called Friday, and all she says in the whole song is, "It's Friday," and that's it. And I saw it first on the Today Show. So you can imagine now, I'm sure somebody's calling her for a record deal, but it's because her parents spent a little bit of money, did a little bitty video, they put it on YouTube. It's now at 77 million hits, and she'll probably have a record deal and will probably be living with her for the next 20 years, just because she's putting out music, hopefully. So it's huge. It's absolutely amazing that what we used to do to promote music, like Craig was saying, posters and flyers, and we thought we were really penetrating. But the internet really does it, because you can sit at home, in your room, in your office, and you can go online and you can see anything and everything that you want in terms of music, videos, you know, EPKs, whatever it is. You can just sit there and get to know an artist just by looking at one little thing, your computer.
And more times than not, that's what labels are looking for. They're not waiting for that next person to come through the door and say, "Here's my CD." You know, they want to know who has the buzz out there. I mean, that's what's going to make Bailey and her counterparts out there say, "Okay, this is a record I got to play," because there's a huge buzz. She's in a comfort zone of putting a record on that has a huge buzz because she knows that she's going to win out the gate. So you guys, you have to think more in terms of being your own record label. You have to put together your own marketing campaigns. You can go online. You can read Billboard. You guys have so much access right now that I remember when I first started working Run DMC, we didn't have anything like that. You know, we were out there with the posters and everything else. You guys really take advantage of everything you have right now, because again, you have to look at yourself as your own label. And when you take yourself seriously and your campaign seriously, the labels are going to take you seriously. That's going to drive your stock up. That's going to make you more the artist that they're going to want to come after, as opposed to you going after them.
And also, if I could add, on a up-and-coming level, you're trying to find out what people work at, what labels, what certain A&Rs are. So from a research standpoint, the internet is good because you're able to see who you need to be targeting and also compare yourself to other artists. Not that you want to be like any other artist, but you want to be on the same level playing field as them. You don't want to have another artist up here and you're sounding here, because your chances of making it and being successful is not going to be that good.
All right. All right. You know what? I'm sorry. Does everybody know who's up here? Oh, you don't? Okay, no. My girl T over here. Hey, T. DJ Serious. All right. Let me take the time. I'm sorry, everybody. Let me take the time to introduce you to the panel. All right? All right. Let me start up front right here. We have Cynthia Johnson. She's the Senior Vice President of Urban Promotions from Columbia Sony Music. Give her a hand. Next to her is Morris Landy, Executive Vice President of Urban Music at Atlantic Records. Trey Songz, T.I. All right, we have a songwriter extraordinaire. She does it all. She sings, too. Lachey Martin, she's from here. Lachey. From Jerry Curl Productions, out of Chi-Town. No, I'm just jacking. Yeah, you right. No. My man from Chi-Town, Wayne Williams, he's the Senior A&R Executive of Jive Records. What up, dog? He discovered R. Kelly, y'all. Is R. Kelly a big artist? That's what's up. All right, we got the big wigs here today.
And Jacob Lattimore.
Jacob Lattimore from Milwaukee, the Mill, my man. My man. That's what's up. We had another songwriter extraordinaire from the Mill, my man Chad Johnson. What up, Chad?
I wish I had his check.
Chad Roper, I'm sorry. I said Chad Johnson. But you're a songwriter, my man. I'm sorry, Chad.
I wish I had his check.
Yeah, for real.
And his girlfriend, too.
Yeah, me too, bro. All right. Man, you know this dude. J Records recording artist, the one and only, representing that ATL. He's going to let me borrow that ring on his pinky tonight. Yung Joc, y'all. Give him a hand.
Hey, and he got 2 pinky rings, so he want to know which one you want to borrow. He got 2 of them with 125 carats apiece.
Woo,
which one you want to borrow?
That's what's up. Both of them. Both of them. Let me see on the other side over here. Oh, my man, 50 grand, go hard in the paint. The one and only Vice President of Urban Promotions at Def Jam, my man Thomas Lytle. What's happening? My girl from our last year, she's our runner-up. She rocked the house last night. Good show, too, at a 618, girl. It's all good. Last year's Heat from the Street runner-up, Miss Sheba, baby. All right. Next to Sheba, we got the Vice President of Urban Promotions at Capitol Records, Mr. Craig Davis. Universal recording artist, one of the stars of MySpace and everything else. And he got a hot last name, too. John Brown. Rick Ross's little brother. No, let me stop. He's the regional urban promotions of Capitol Records. My man Kevin Ross. What up, Kev? My man from the Red Zone. Man, he hot in the streets, too. If y'all got some, if you got a CD or demo and it's professional, better get with him today. For real. He from the street. Saturday night, 8 o'clock, 7:30 on Sunday. My man Knowledge in the Red Zone.
We got Maurice White.
Who?
Maurice White.
From Earth, Wind, and Fire, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't say him. I don't know. I'm just playing. My man 50 grand, he known me since I was a little boy, man. I used to play tambourine in church.
He signed you. He gave you your first deal. Right?
He sure did. He sure did.
Worked your records.
First deal, yep. Senior A&R Executive, the Regional Urban Promotions at Universal Records, my man Maurice White. What's happening, brother?
Now, wait a minute. Let me stop you. First of all, y'all got Midwest Rep. I don't work for Universal. I work for eOne. And I'm Senior National Director of eOne. But the good part about this, I told Bailey earlier that if this is a demotion, I'm cool. Just don't mess with my money. Because less work and same money is a raise, okay? So I'm cool. I'm Senior National Director at eOne.
The Senior National Director.
Yes. Y'all need to get with him. You see, I'm reading up here. Let me see. And our let me go on this end over here. Our winner, you got to stand up, bro, so we can see you, man. Our winner from last year, the Heat from the Street competition, the one and only Beef, y'all representing the mill. Down there in the A down, right? Yes, sir. You working with Young Joc?
He just told me today he got a hit for me, so I'm,
That's what's up. All right, get it in. Just get it in. Yep. What's happening? Are you security? Oh, you security on stay, huh? Huh? Too close to Young Joc? All right. I'll distract him. Give me one of them rings. All right. So give everybody a hand up here, everybody. Come on. That's what's up. They come here to help you out with your career because we know you're serious about it because you're here, right? Right? All right. Hot Sauce, what's happening, homie? You got the mic? Where's the mic? There you go.
I'm micless over here, y'all. I'm just walking around. I'm a zombie.
There you go. Check anybody have questions on that end over there?
Anybody have questions?
Come on right here in the center. Come on in the center. Come on. If you got a question, come on up. Line up right now. Because they're here for you now. Anything you want to know about this industry, keep it real. This is no holds barred. Anything you want to know, line it up. Right here. How you doing?
Yeah. I remember you from last year.
Who said that?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Hi, my name is LaToya. I'm here representing my son Lex. He's a hip-hop artist. And what I want to know is when you guys receive a CD, what are you really looking for? What's like most important? Is it like the beat or, the lyrics, the quality of the CD? What are you really looking for that really catches your attention?
You know what? Let me start.
No, everybody's looking at Wayne.
Let me start on that one. When at eOne, first of all, try to make it look as professional as you can. I hate getting CDs that got chicken grease on them, and people that have Sharpie written, and I know most people are on a budget, but try to make it look as professional as you can. Of course, if it's got good music in it, it'll be heard. But for me, when presentation means to everything, and it means everything, and when you present it to a label, a lot of times they get so many CDs like that, they might not even get listened to, So just take your project serious and in presentation. Now, somebody else might want to comment on that.
Yeah, I was going to, go ahead.
On the music end, whenever, and I don't work in A&R just for the record, but when I do get a CD, I want whoever's handing it to me to feel as though they can themselves hear it on the radio. And don't fool yourself into thinking just because you did it that it should be on radio. But can you honestly put this up against something else that's on the radio and say, yeah, that's a hot record? That's the final criteria for me.
That touches on what I was going to say also is the quality. Obviously, you're going to be proud of whatever you come out with, but can it hold up to something that you're hearing on a daily basis on a big radio station? And also, contact information is a big thing. It all comes down to presentation. A bio would be nice. We want to know who you are. We want to know a little bit about you as an artist, too, or whatever artist you're working. So I think that's a big thing, too. Maybe some photos, your MySpace, your internet info, a package deal. It's got to be more than just a CD. You want to separate yourself from everybody else as best as you possibly can.
I got one comment. This is Thomas Lightow from Def Jam. If you're going to hand somebody a CD, do your homework. Like, if it's going to be, let's say, a Morris Landy or somebody, find out who he is. Go to Wikipedia or, something so you'll know how to deal with that person. You want to make sure you can touch his or her hot spots, pause, all right? So that way you kind of break that wall down, and he's more apt to listen to what you have to say because you know a little bit about this gentleman or the A&R. That's very important, just to hand someone and say, please listen to my demo. Who are you? I don't know who you are. You know, so there's little tricks, you know. Maybe send him some flowers or meet him somewhere where you might know he hangs out. You know, bump into him. Hey, how you doing? No pressure. Just want to shake your hand, see what's up. Little conversation. Next week, come back. Hey, remember I met you at so-and-so? Takes time, guys. It's a process. Okay? Now, that chip is for free. All right? I have some other ones, so we're going to share a lot with you this afternoon. But make sure you know the person you're giving the CD to. Don't just hand somebody something you don't know who he or she is. Do your homework.
I have to agree. I have to agree with that. I think that they're I've been, I guess, getting CDs for over 20 years now, and I've got them all sorts and kind of ways. But those little tricks that he just mentioned do make a difference, you know. Just don't go overboard. And what I mean by that is, one time I was in the hospital, and someone came in my hospital room giving me a CD. You know, that's going overboard. But I couldn't believe that. But I think that you know, I've gotten cakes and, you know, CDs with Popeye's chicken. I mean, you just wouldn't believe, you know. And I think, but for me though, quite honestly, the most important thing is the music. It all comes down to what's on that CD. So as long as what's on that CD is hot, that's what you put your time and your money into, making sure what's on that CD is hot. That's my advice.
And also, I'm a songwriter, so I don't know the artist or nothing, but I met Wayne several years before we started having a working relationship together. And he listened to a couple of records. It was a writing session thing they had in Atlanta. And at the time, I was in a writing team, me, Lachey, and another songwriter. And he heard a record. We played a record for him for R. Kelly because we knew he was the R. Kelly man. You know what I'm saying? So what Wayne said was, this is a great record, but it's not. This is his favorite theme, too. This is how he tell you no. This is the Wayne Williams tell you no. So when you hear it, just know it's coming. This is a great record, but this is not a Jacob Lattimore record, or this is not an R. Kelly record. But it is a whoever. And we played a record for him for R. Kelly. And it wasn't an R. Kelly record, but not say thank God, but it was a Backstreet Boys record. And they sold 2 million. And it was because of him. It was because of the relationship that we had with him prior to that, and not burning a bridge with him prior to him telling us no, go back and do this and go back and do that. What you do is you listen to what, if you have the opportunity to play the record for the A&R, listen to what they have to tell you, because a lot of times they're telling you for them and other A&Rs and other buildings also that will probably have the same critique. And that's really important, that you really listen to the critique not as a bad thing, but as a learning experience, and not as somebody hating on you. I hear that all, they hating. Maybe they're trying to help. They're really helping on you. You thinking they're hating. So make sure you take the critique well.
So don't present it right away before letting other people listen to it. Like, before you want to present it to a person that you think really matters, let other people listen to it first.
And not just your family. Right. not just at the family barbecue. Because y'all remember me from last year, some of you that are here. Y'all know I don't play around. I tell it like it is. A lot of times you surround yourself with about 3 or 4 people, and they tell you you're super hot. And so you roll out like you're super hot. And you get it to Bailey or you get it to Reggie, and it's super cold. Ain't popping. Make sure your joint is hot, but that you've listened to a number of different people tell you, and be able to take constructive criticism. Don't personalize these things, because this is a business. That's what it's about. Oh, Kevin Ross, Capitol Records Regional. Sorry.
Remember, you're competing against Beyonce, Trey Songz, and Nicki Minaj, Drake. You're competing against them for a spot on the radio. If you're trying to go radio, remember that.
Also, as a radio DJ, it would be nice, like, if we got a radio edit on your single when you bring it to us, instead of telling us, "Hey man, can you edit this song for us?" That's not popping. That's not cool.
Hey, someone shared me some wisdom the other day on Facebook that I thought was very profound. And they told me that if you get your new music from radio, you're probably over 40 years old. Ooh, that silence is deafening. So, guys, don't discount, like you said, the internet. But it's very important to be hot in your own backyard. If you're not hot in Milwaukee, how are you going to be hot in Chicago? For real. So what you have to do, and I see a lot of Greeks out there, college people, you know, they probably have marketing degrees and stuff like that. You know, tap into their network. See what they can offer you as an artist. Because the teamwork makes the dream work. Can't do it by yourself. Okay, but there's a lot of talent in this room other than the artists. Promotion, marketing, publicity, young ladies, young guys, you love to write. That's what they need. You know, and you can get a lot of the information from here as well. And by the way, for all you Greeks out there, Omega Psi Phi, Spring 81. Word out. Yeah. So that's my advice, guys. Tap into your friends that are in the room that do other things besides being in front of the microphone and being an artist. Because most of the people up here are behind the scenes. Like I said, you've never seen us, but I don't think anyone's mad at their salary working at a record label. I don't think so. So there's a lot of things that we can do in the room, okay?
Let's go to the next question.
Okay, so like she said, my name is Alex. I'm a 19-year-old hip-hop artist from Milwaukee, representing my city. And my question was, what are the best routes do you guys think are for exposure? Do you think, because I know we talked about the internet, do you think the club scene or the radio, or what would you choose as, or think is the best way for exposure?
Airplane, get on the airplane and go somewhere. Besides, because you can't represent Milwaukee. I'm from Milwaukee, but you can't represent Milwaukee if you're here. You're not representing where you're at if you're there. You have to go somewhere else and represent where you're from. That's what people get it misconstrued. I remember when I used to work with Rico all the time, and when he come home, everybody want to hate on him, this and that, and blah blah, this and that, because he wasn't home. Well, I haven't never seen Jive Records building on downtown. I haven't seen Capitol Records downtown on Wisconsin Avenue. I haven't seen Interscope downtown. You got to get on the plane and go somewhere to represent. You can't represent where you live. You have to take yourself somewhere far from where you're used to, out of your comfort zone, to really see what you're made of. So that's the first important thing. You can get the clubs here, that's cool, but you ain't going to see none of these gentlemen or ladies in the club here. But maybe today. But outside of that, they're going to be wherever their office has them. So you're going to have to get on the plane and get that up front and close exposure, and so you can really represent, because it's hard to represent somewhere that you're from. Okay?
I agree with that, because I have right now 2 songs in rotation on V-100, but I didn't get those songs on there until after I was on Making It a Band first. So even though I've been working hard, like me and him as teenagers, me and Chad, worked together all the time, songwriting, you know, making music all the time, but it wasn't until I was able to show what I was made of doing something else that I was able to accomplish something.
But in the meantime, before you can leave this city, I think that you can build a fan base by using the internet, Facebook, YouTube. I think you constantly film yourself and upload it so that the people who are interested in you, they have more and more reason to be interested in you because there's something else coming from you. I think that you should definitely make sure that even though you should, you know, I'm not disputing anything that they're saying, but I do think that before you can move out, you should move out within your area. And you can promote yourself by being here, and that's okay until you can move someplace else. So, you know, moving someplace else may not be an option for everybody, but you can use the internet, I think. You can use the clubs. I think you should get feedback. I think there are a lot of things that you can do right where you are before you can step off.
I just wanted to add on the record that when you are trying to, because I'm grinding myself, you know. I'm still Sheba Baby. I'm still here, but a lot of my connects is actually elsewhere, and I'm doing other things than just rapping and singing, and I'm actually songwriting. A lot of my connects is actually outside of Milwaukee. But while you're here, it's not only just the clubs and things. You have to build relationships with those DJs, build relationships with those radio personnel. Because if I didn't have a relationship with those people, I wouldn't even be sitting here. You know what I mean? So that's another thing, too. You put your music out there. Make sure you talk to the people you're actually giving them to. Because it matters.
And the direct answer to your question is everything. Do everything under your means that you can do. Anything you can think of, anything that you can use, do it. I mean, this is your career. This is your life. This is your love. I mean, if you're taking this seriously. So I would do everything.
And also more directly to what Wayne is saying, remember that each one of you as artists, you're a brand. You're branding yourself. You're branding your name before you're branding your music. You're a brand like Mercedes or Coke or whatever. So you have to move like that. You have to brand yourself. That's marketing. That's advertising. All of that. So you have to keep that in mind that you're a brand. You're not just an artist. You're not just a song. Not just an album. It's a brand. It should be a company, really. That's how you got to look at it.
Can I also add to what Cynthia said too? Like if you do not have the means to go other places, like we are blessed that we're that close to Chicago. Chicago is like another main hub of music, whereas Milwaukee is a smaller one. You can also use the internet again, because if you work with other producers, like I've worked with producers and other people that I've never even met in person yet, and if you're not there, they're playing your music, so that makes you where they are. So that's another way to network and do stuff.
All right, let's go to the next question. Thanks. What's your name and your question?
Fatboy414 with the PH. And first off, I want to thank God for being here and even being alive and around you blessed people. Seriously, like, try to get a hold of y'all every day, but it's impossible to do so, from my end at least. But I'm a producer, writer, and rapper, or pretty much all of the above. I do my own works, and I guarantee you if I perform on here, you know, y'all got the opportunity to sign me. And it's not a joke, because I'm going to be doing this until I die. And I'm just glad to be a part of the whole hip-hop thing. Young Joc, what up, baby? I'll see you, man. The Don, they make a song with you. I got beats for you, too. And but seriously, man, music is my life. And I know there's a lot of competition out there, but no disrespect to anybody. Like, I don't see competition. I just want to go do me and give people what hip-hop really started for, which is to get that party moving, to get it jumping, to really feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm excited right now. I've been thinking about this. But seriously, though, man, if y'all, man, I'll give y'all opportunity to sign me for a penny, and I'll pay it myself. And I guarantee you one beat alone will make his money back in a matter of minutes, hours. Like, no joke. I got a beat right here, right now, guaranteed.
Hey, fam.
No
Fam,
joke.
is there a question in there somewhere?
Matter of fact,
we need a question
I got my
for
whole
the panel.
studio in here. Like, I was ready to just hand it off, but I got a bunch of beats on here. This is my proof right here for any one of y'all.
I'll take a copy, though.
Yeah.
I'm a songwriter. We'll take a copy.
Yeah.
I'll take one. And I like your passion, brother, because I remember the days where nobody would listen to our records, to the records that we wrote. And now they call us to go work with people. So I appreciate your hustle, brother.
Yes, sir.
And also know with. Hey, and also know my man, Mr. 414, right? Okay. Know that the first thing, the opening statement you said was the most important. You thank God, because each and every one of us is up here because of God. God did something, put somebody in our life for a certain reason or a certain season, and just that season may have passed to somebody else. And it's nothing but God that I know Wayne, that I've been to Joc's house before. Like, that's God. It was through somebody. It was nothing that I've done on my own. It was from him. So that's the first important thing. As long as you got God, you good, fam.
Hey, it's like my first time getting a chance to say something since I've been on the panel today. So I'm going to say what up to everybody. Thank y'all for having me. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to sit amongst such a beautiful panel of hosts and established individuals. With what he was just saying, man, like it's gonna like cover a few of those questions all in one. What I want to say, real brief, man. Like he said about his passion, homie just want to know what he can do. You told him Wayne do everything. Like my man who just got up, as you see, like when you just stepped up, you made everybody in the room kind of smile because you're truly passionate about what you do and what you're trying to offer. I mean, sometimes you got to look at what your biggest selling point is. What is your strongest asset as a commodity? What makes you the commodity? The fact that you ain't really have nothing, you ain't have no special CD, no special T-shirts, no posters, but you're able to talk to people. Maybe you should hook up with some of these promoters in the city, some of the DJs, because you seem like a people person, dude. Wherever you went to, I don't know where the hell he went. Oh, okay, yeah, like I mean, it's apparent that you know how to talk. You know what I mean, and you're passionate about what you do. Figure out how to use that in itself, because I mean, I ain't gonna forget you now. I'm gonna be like, yeah, homie was like running out of breath, like nervous, like yo, I got my whole studio in the bag, like I ain't gonna forget you, you know what I mean? So you just keep promoting yourself, man. I mean, like if that's your strongest asset, forget the music sometimes, because even as a salesman, in order to sell anything, you gotta believe in it yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely apparent that you believe in your music, because you like, yo, just hit this one beat, like we gonna play a beat in here, come on. Nah, I feel you. I know you will. I just wanted to put that out there because I ain't had a chance to say. No, I just been listening, and it's a lot of times I get on panels, and it's with people just like this, prestigious people, and they don't say nothing. They be just chilling, and I be like, dang. Then a lot of questions be thrown at me because I'm an artist. I'm like in the same position as everybody in here. Most of the people, they like, well, we trying to do what you do. Them people can help us, so you tell us what we could do, and then we'll get with them folks afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that out there, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to say a lot. I'm just listening because I'm learning, too. You know, it's a learning process. You learn something new every day. Just, man, stay passionate. Stay focused on your hustle, man. Don't get caught up in thinking it's just a party. This shit is not a party. Excuse my language. But for real, this is not just a party, man. What we do is a business, man. You got people, I'm going to tell y'all this, and I'm going to keep it brief. Yo, I used to get mad when I would call to the label. I would call people at Atlantic or whoever and be like, yo, I was wondering, maybe they like, yo, we on vacation. Yo, we gone for the holiday. What you mean, the holiday, man? We out here working. But see, they in the office. They in the office every day. They got somebody they got to report to every day. As an artist, my life is a little more stress-free, more carefree. Hey, everywhere I go, I'm getting praise. Hey, what's up? Hey, I'm getting love. I ain't got to spend no money. I go to the club. It look like I'm balling, but really that's a part of my rider. Everybody in the club, they breaking their neck, spending their last so they can have bottles and pop champagne when it's a part of me being there. That's, you know what I'm saying? So you don't understand really how hard it is until you can actually talk to these people and see like what they do. And I think until artists understand the people that's behind the scene who actually help fuel their fire, until you understand the people that can truly help you, it's going to be hard, man. So like my brother said earlier, man, do your research. Find out the type of people you need to, you know what I'm saying, establish yourself with. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us just, we want to, I make beats, I rap. Well, okay, well, what you going to do with it? How you going to get it to the people? You know what I'm saying? What's your next move? You know, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to leave you with this, homie. Plan your work, then you work your plan. Real simple.
Words of wisdom from Young Joc.
Hey, hold on, Mike. We have people who have exclusive rights to videotape, so please do not record the session today. You can take pictures, free to take pictures, but please don't record. Okay.
All right, next.
Hi, y'all. My name's IG. Ill Grammar. Shout out to Sheba Baby. I work with your mom. You know what I'm saying? She be promoting you. But on some real stuff, myself as an artist, I've been doing this for like a couple years now. And I've been doing it alone, you know what I'm saying? So it's been hard for me because I ain't had like a manager or nothing like that. So I was wondering if y'all could give me some words of wisdom on how to find or how to navigate myself into a position where I'd be in place of like finding a manager, or how did even an artist such as yourself go about picking a manager, you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying, directing your music towards a certain label, you know what I mean?
Well, first, can you tell us what you do?
Oh, I rap. Yeah, I got he gave a good speech, so you know I'm like, what do I say now? But yeah, I got one for each of y'all, man. I did this myself, 21 songs. I went through Vibes Multimedia, which was on, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the flyers, you know what I'm saying, everything, man. I worked hard to get it. You know what I'm saying, just me, myself. You know what I'm saying?
How many songs do you have done? How much would you say is in your quote unquote catalog?
In my catalog?
Yeah.
Man, I got like 14 shoe boxes. Recorded on a CD, ready to give to you guys is 21.
No. No, that's not what I'm saying. How many songs do you have that if you had to spend your own money to buy your own stuff, do you have done total? Like how much catalog do you have?
Finished probably like 50 songs.
Okay. See, you have to have something to manage, and you're on your way. You have to have something to manage before you have a manager. That's the first thing.
Yeah, and that's why I dropped, man. They told me first thing you need is a mixtape. I was like, all right, let me get my mixtape then. It took me a year to do it. You know what I'm saying? I had to pay for funds, everything myself, studio, graphics, everything. You know what I mean? Because I was trying to find promoters, but Milwaukee's a very small city, and a lot of times people are scared to mess with you because of, you know what I'm saying, no disrespect to anybody, but like a lot of times people in Milwaukee think they can rap, but really they can't. You know what I'm saying? And it goes along with that.
That's not just here, brother. That's everywhere.
That's everywhere.
Believe that.
And it goes along with that. You know what I'm saying? You think people are hating, but they really trying to help. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, maybe rapping's not your thing. Like, maybe you're, you know what I'm saying, an executive producer or something like that. Like, maybe you got the ear for it, but you ain't actually got the words.
Well, you know, the truth of the matter is, out of every 10 of those that you might hand out, like just in the streets or whatever, maybe only 1 or 2 people might even hold on to them, and maybe 1 person will listen. But that's 1 person that you got. But what that tells you is how much grind you're going to have, because that means you're going to have to hand out hundreds. Okay? Yeah, and hits, brother. Think hits. Not songs, hits. My man.
And you're only as good as your management. That's if you're a writer, producer, artist, whatever you are, a boxer, anything to do with entertainment. You're only as good as your management. If your management suck, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna make it harder on your career. You better off just going ahead and doing it yourself. That's the approach we took. We just went on out there and just took trips on our own and just did it on our own because we felt like at the end of the day we didn't owe anybody anything but ourselves and God. Okay.
But it doesn't sound like, at this point, you need a manager. You may need a mentor, somebody that can help you navigate where you're doing and what's going on in your career at this point. But, you know, to me, you're still at that stage where if you want to move, you want to move. And you don't need somebody that is, you know, quote unquote, a manager and has a certain way that they want to do things that may stop your progress because they're not up to speed to where you are. So I would say, like, if you wanted to know, do I want to listen to 21 songs? No, I do not. So that mentor could have told you, cut it down to 5, because that's probably all you're going to get, if that, with anybody here. So if they said to you, you know, if you just want to get some answers so you can do your thing so that you can move forward. But your moving forward, in my opinion, can be larger than what your manager is thinking. So don't stop yourself from thinking outside the box, really, really big, that no one else has done. Don't stop that. Just get a little guidance.
Plus, you want to pick the right 5 songs. So the fact you did 21, you play them for your, your people, and narrow down what the right songs are. And what are the most popular songs, and then get that, obviously, to the right people.
And my question to you is, do you have a team? Like you said, you did everything by yourself. Do you have a team? So that might be the beginning of where you need to be at, because there's so many different levels. Like first you are doing everything on your own. Then, you know, at some point you'll probably have a manager. They may not be connected all the way, but they'll be somebody that believe in you as much as you believe in yourself, that just kind of take you to the next level. Then once you really make it, then you'll have a manager, like for real, somebody that's connected with lawyers and all of that type of stuff. But beginning out, you probably need to just form a team of people that can basically free up your time where you can concentrate on your craft. You know, and like I know I came from the beginning too, where you still got a job, you got to, you know what I mean? You're trying to make this your job. You're trying to make it your job. But in reality, you can't, really push your career without the funds to do that. So you need to have, start a team and pick them one by one. Really make sure that it's not people that's holding you back, people that, believe in you, but people that's that's also willing to invest in you, whether it be just time, you know, or it may be sometimes they are willing to do stuff for you. Like they might say, okay, you made the CD, let's help you print it out. Let's help you, you know, I'll help you do whatever you need to do. Or I'll help you pass them out, you know, whatever you need to do. But like just kind of form a small team of people that's really for you.
I'll help you out right now. How many independent record owners are in the house right now? Raise your hand. You looking? Now, how many managers are in the house right now? Well, I will start there by giving them my CD and interviewing them and talking to them.
And then the last thing you should do, man, this is something I did, and it was a changing point in my career. What I did was, I'm a prayer. So what I did was I said a prayer to God. I said, God, remove anything, body, and situation that's not supposed to be around me that it will hinder my progress. I noticed I had 20 people around me at the time. When I looked up, it was only 4 left. I knew that was the team that God had for me. So make sure you say that prayer to yourself, to God, and it'll work. Trust me.
I have to co-sign that. That definitely works. That definitely works. And I don't care if it sounds corny to anybody, but I'm telling you, that works. So.
All right. No, just one question. Just one question, man. You got all these people that we have to get to. We'll get to you a little later. We'll try. We'll see if we can get to you.
Look at the line.
I'm trying to be fair.
Hi, my name is Tiara Allen, and I'm 17 years old, and my DJ name is DJ Sirius. I have a question. Like, I got all this equipment, like DJ equipment, Pro Tools box, Beat Machine, and I don't know how to work it. Is there any software out there I could get that talks, because I'm totally blind? Like, I don't know how to operate it.
You can go to YouTube, sweetheart, and YouTube, because it'll talk you through everything. And how I learned a lot of the tricks with the new Pro Tools 9 that we use is I use YouTube because it walks you through it, and it speaks to you, and it tells you what's necessary. Because one thing you have is a gift that's bigger than all of ours, because when God takes one sense, he enhances others. So your ears are better than everybody sitting up here. So what you can do is use that gift that God gave you of your ears, and I'll do all of us sitting up here on this panel. So use that sense and enhancing it. Go to YouTube, and it will help you. Just use the senses that God had left with you, and that you can enhance yourself with. All right.
So, like, what do I type? Like when I go there?
It depends on what software you're using. If you're using Logic, type in Logic 9 or have someone type in Logic 9 into there, or whatever specific things you're trying to do with this different software. If it's Pro Tools, if it's a DJ equipment, whatever the software is, you can cater it directly to that software and type it into YouTube, and there will be a tutorial for all things. Because my production partner, Miltone, he learned some chords and everything off of YouTube. So YouTube will give you everything you need to know. Just be very specific in your search.
Also, there's a gentleman, his name is, if you guys can remember, DJ Touch Tone. He's out of Philadelphia. He plays for WPHI in Philadelphia. He's a blind DJ as well. He does production. Try to reach out for him. You can probably Google his name, or when it's done, I can give you a number on Touchtone. Touchtone is a great guy. He's blind, one of the best DJs out there. And he can help you through. He can be sort of like a mentor for you.
Okay. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Terrell Putnam. I am a singer, a songwriter. I can also rap. I'm currently a student at Milwaukee Area Technical College for music and business. And in my music business class, we are constantly talking about how technology is changing the music industry. And I just wanted to direct a question to you all as far as what do you see in the future of music as far as piracy, copyrights, because my class is a little discouraging because they're saying like the money in music just ain't gonna be there. So if you're doing it, just do it for love, but I'm not getting any younger, and I want to be able to be a good provider and husband, you know, for my future wife and future kids. And I just want to know, what do you see in the future of the music business?
Well, I see Lloyd. Welcome Lloyd to the panel, by the way. Lloyd is in the building. I see John Brown up here. I see Young Joc up here. I see a lot of money on this stage, so there's definitely money to be made in this business. But I think one of the most important things to realize is if you have your publishing in order, you know, it's a lot harder to get taken advantage of if you cover all your bases. I think someone else could probably follow up with some more info on that.
I agree with him on that. As a songwriter, I just got a check from MySpace. I didn't know MySpace paid you. But one of my songs, I guess, is on MySpace. I ain't been on MySpace in 4 years, but they sent me a check. So, I mean, I love the internet. The YouTube, they give you a check for that. You get checks as a songwriter as long as you got your publishing, a producer and a songwriter, you get checks for that.
Got a question. Show of hands, how many people buy music here? Still a large percentage of people not buying music. So if you're in here and you want to be a part of this industry, you have to support this industry. You have to also encourage people to support this industry. It's the only way it's going to be here in the next 10 years or so. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to any one of you. I tell you the truth. I'm concerned, especially when a large group of I'll say a large group of people don't buy music. And I have a niece who told me about 2 years ago. I asked her when was the last time she bought a CD. She said about 2 years ago. You know, and I know that's pretty much the case, especially with kids that are that fall between a certain demographic. They may be whatever the demographic is. Bottom line, what I'm trying to say is, if you want to be a part of this industry, you have to support this industry. You have to encourage people to not be ones that take away from it. Otherwise, it's not going to be here, right?
Also, too, we as a industry shot ourselves in the foot almost 20 years ago by putting CDs out that had one song in it. Let's get back to quality. If you make good music, somebody's probably willing to pay you for it. But every song you record is not a hit. And I heard the gentleman say he had 21 songs. You probably can weed out of them 21, maybe 19 of them. And I haven't even heard the project, but that will actually be suitable for what we're looking for up here. Let's get back to quality. You know, make sure you got quality in what you're doing, and you stand a chance to make it. I believe quality supersedes quantity, and I do have hope. I'm probably the senior up here. I've been at this game probably longer than everybody up here, 35 years now. And I've seen changes. I've seen us, when I started, it was a singles business, and we back to a singles business. You know, there's a reason why people don't want to pay for an album, because y'all kept giving them crap, you know. I mean, not you in this audience, but you know, artists kept giving them garbage music, and people didn't want to reach in their pocket and pay for it. So let's get back to giving them quality, and I think there's hope for this business.
I have to totally agree with Maurice White when it comes to that, and I think that, you know, I think I'll start ranting if I continue on, because I mean, to me, when I first moved from Chicago to New York, and I saw how they were making records in New York, and some of the I'm not going to mention no names, but some people would come in my office and they would say, you know, producers or songwriters, and they would come in my office, managers, they would come in my office and they would ask me, you know, to put their songs on the album, how did I liked them, or if I did I like them or did I not like them? I say, no, I wasn't feeling it. They would say, well, that's okay, because I'm going to cut you in if you put it on my project. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I don't like the record, you know. But what I realized after the first 6 months of being in New York is that I was a minority. And I guess a lot of cats were doing that. A lot of A&R cats were doing that. People who own labels were doing that. Managers were doing that, forcing that issue. And it was disgusting to me, just totally disgusting to me. And that's part of the reason, Maurice, why those things happen, because people were more interested in getting paid then the quality of their project, coming out right. And I must say, and I'm proud to this day, and I worked on R. Kelly, Charlie Wilson, Raheem DeVaughn, Joe. If I work on an album, I make sure every one of those songs are quality records or have a purpose for that particular album, no matter how they did. And thank God that most of them have done pretty good, but I think that that's important because that is, to me, what messed up the industry. They just cheated the consumers, and the consumers were tired of it and fed up. And so you have to get back. And this isn't a challenge just to the artists. This is a challenge to the A&R people who are in the industry, to their bosses, the managers of artists, that if you want this industry to come back, you have to put quality product out to the public. And that's the only way you're going to get this industry back.
And actually, I'll speak directly to, like, from the artist perspective. A lot of people started looking for the next whoever, the next this, the next that, the next whoever, and not the first whoever. Be who you going to be. Because chances are, looking for the next whoever, there's not going to be a next whoever you looking to be next after. So be the first whoever and put your best into that.
And to echo what Wayne says, I worked with Wayne for 7 years. I've seen Wayne take a project, and he will not put out a project until it is complete. It's been a year. I've seen him work on an R. Kelly project for a year and a half before that project came out. I saw him work on a Raheem DeVaughn project for a year and a half before it came out. This industry, we're in the music industry, is sick. We got whack music out here. We got a lot of whack artists out here. The business is, we're in bad shape. We've got a lot of artists out here that are heritage artists that are getting to play. We're not breaking new artists like we used to. This industry is real sick. And it's guys like you out here, new artists, that we need to feed this industry. This industry has always been about breaking new acts, having the next new artist. And somehow, when these record companies got taken over by pencil pushers and non-creative people, we've gone into the business of taking music from an art form to making music. This is an art. Music is an art like a painting, and we cannot put a value on that and throw it out there. It comes from everybody's heart, and it's real. And that's how we have to go back to the music business.
All right.
Well, first off, I'd like to say everybody in this room is truly an inspiration to me, because I just love people, and I love to be motivated by people. My question is, I'm an aspiring songwriter, and I was wondering, is there like a requirement? What do you guys look for when you guys pick the method with the songwriters? I know with Lloyd, I love your song Southside. I know Yung Joc, I love that song It's Going Down. But what do you guys as artists, when you guys pick the songs and you guys deal with the songwriters, do you sit down in the studio, or?
It depends. It depends on what the message is that you want to convey through your music. I think anything that's when it comes to hip hop, we really respect anything that's real. So something that's real genuine, that almost makes me feel like I can relate to that. That usually helps. Or sometimes it's not even about any of that. It's just about what's the most creative. Personally for me, I like to think that love is the greatest message in the world. I mean, like, no matter where you go, any country, everybody loves love and the idea of loving people. So that's why my music is always about love and messages pertaining to love. So I like to gravitate towards, whoever expresses that love the best. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Carolyn Scott, and I am a musician. I play the guitar, I play the piano, and I sing, and I play the drums. At the same time, I write music. I write music about songs that people are afraid to talk about. I write songs like that. But at the same time, where do artists like me go in terms of record labels? Because a lot of record labels right now are pushing this techno stuff that's just going crazy, and it's kind of confusing me because I'm a real artist. I like to perform in live venues, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard for me to do the beat thing, and I mean, I don't really know, where do I go? Where do I look for? I have a fan base going on MySpace and on Facebook and stuff like that, but at the same time, in terms of record labels, who do I look at to push my music to that's really looking for real music still?
Well, there's an artist named Frank Ocean. He's a real artist like you speaking of. Labels is beating his doors down, right? And I just spoke with him. We were in L.A., and labels are beating his doors down to try to give him some money just so they can get a part of what he's doing. So if you are what you say you are, you won't have to look for them. They're going to look for you. Believe that. Trust me. Don't change what you do to try to adapt to what you hear on the radio. Because like the gentleman back there said, whatever you hear on the radio, those songs have been done. We did Like 'Em All a while ago, and it's popping right now. We did that song a good while ago.
His grandfather was my voice teacher.
Okay, you see what I'm saying? So like, whatever you hear on the radio, these gentlemen, Lloyd and Joc, they've done them songs. They done did 50 songs by the time that song hit the radio. So they got a whole new sound that's getting ready to hit you in another 6 months. So keep doing what you're doing, and just let the labels will come towards you. They will come at you if you are that you say that you are. They'll come look for you. You won't have to look for them. Trust me.
You're right. And just to elaborate on that, I think it's like you just said. You know, you can't. One thing you got to take into consideration though when you use the term real artist, you got to be careful how you. I know you don't mean disrespect, but I'm just saying, you know, you got to watch how you say that, because at the end of the day, you may turn off an executive because they may have that techno artist that you're talking about, and they making a whole lot of money off of that techno artist or whatever you were trying to say. I think you meant more like top 40, just that. Yeah, okay, it's cool. I'm just telling you, you know, because sometimes, you know, when you selling yourself. To sell yourself, you don't have to down anything else to sell yourself.
It's not about a label, because without you or without us, like me or Joc, then what is a record label? It's nothing. I mean, we make this business what it is, and I think that you just got to keep that in mind, that it started with you and it's going to end with you. And just because these people might have a little more money, which may seem like something that you need, you got something for them that they need that's priceless. And they're going to make more money off of what you got than you're going to make from what they're giving you anyway. So you just got to keep in mind that without you, there is no record label. There is no record business. There's no music business. There's no music, because you got to make the music. So you are always what's most special. And if you feel like in your heart that what is being put out to the public or what is being released by labels isn't what represents you and your message the best, then you can do it on your own. You don't need a label. You can just do your own thing. I think that with artists like Drake, who released mixtapes on their own, who could have probably put out a record without a label, I think that they changed the game because they show that we don't need a record label for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for real, it really starts with you. And I think that if you really have an independent spirit and an independent heart, and you don't really like wait for people to offer you anything, and you go out and you take it and you earn it, then it's just like they said, they're going to come to you and they're going to offer you the world. So just do your thing.
Church.
And I also, can I add to that I want to say, be patient, always be patient, because timing is everything. Like the type of music that you're saying that you do, it may not be prevalent right now, but there may be a time when that comes back. So in the meantime, like always use your time.
That music is popping right now, because Lay It Down is nothing like anything that's out. It's not techno, but it's got soul. Mm-hmm. And where I'm from, either you can sing or you can sing. And if you can sing, you got soul. So you got to have some kind of soul in your music for people to relate to it, at least for it to last a long time. And a lot of the stuff that's hot right now is just hot right now. But what you talking about is stuff that's been here since before we was here, and it's going to be here way after we gone.
That's
so
right.
That's real music.
And we judge stuff a lot of times by what's in the forefront, but it's a lot of artists, they tour overseas and they make a lot of money, and people don't know about that. So like, just stick to what you believe in, what you like, and you're going to be able to, like, your gifts and your talents always make room for you. So in the meantime, you have different talents. So, you know, perform still, work on your stage presence, work on your, you know, instrumental skills, work on all of that so that when your time comes around, you'll be ready to accept, you know, what's there for you.
Yeah, because we all thought Joc could rap when he first started. He did his own thing. He proved us wrong.
Also, make sure before this is over that you and I speak, because in Chicago there's a movement of artists that do a lot of what you do, and I have some information for you. Also, places like D.C., Philly, there's a little movement, and I know some independent artists, and there's a little thing going on. So I'll make sure that we holler about that. I'm not saying you have to like get on a plane like right across the street today, but I do have some information for you that may help you out in terms of the type of artist that you are. Okay.
You know, the other thing is when you're talking, I'm over here, it's Bailey. The other thing when they're talking about songs and what's out right now and what's good, some songs, like for example, you can look at Young Joc's records and they last. And you know how you know if they last? Because we're playing them again even though it's not a current record. You know, and the same with Lloyd. You know, they both have really nice what we call catalogs. You could go back and play, you know, It's Going Down or whatever, or you can play the current single, you know, or, you know, whatever. But what I'm saying is that type of music a lot of times lasts much longer time, and we're more willing and more free when we do the research to bring it back because we, you know, test it and find out that that's what y'all want to hear, you know. So, you know, don't be afraid to be you and let your music speak for itself.
All right, next question.
Thank God, everybody. First off, thank God, everybody. And congratulations to everybody in the room. Thank you. I respect the game right now. It's weird how I got my inspiration. I used to listen to like Nas, Jay-Z, even the Dirty South, West Coast and everything. And I got inspiration from that. But my inspiration grew powerful because I hear how the game sound now. Not good, all the way. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not thinking I'm better than anybody. I go by first place. We all win in that position at the same time. I'm a creative, very creative artist. I would like to do something, for instance, 5 powerful rappers on one track telling a story, not verse after verse, you know, cutting people off, probably, necessarily. You know, y'all done knocked out all my questions. So, you know, I just try to say something right now. You know what I'm saying?
Man, just let us know you want us to see your suit, man. You sharp, man. It's all good. You sharp as a tack, man. We feel you. It's nothing.
Thank you.
So what you do, man? Tell us what you do.
I do hip-hop. I do rap. Okay. And I'm creative with it. I'm intelligent. My vocabulary is off the chain.
We here, fam.
And I just want to bring change to the game. My inspiration is to make it better, make it good. Again, I respect Young Joc, Lloyd. I respect you too because I listen to the music. But when I hear an artist on the beat, your lyrics supposed to sound as good as your beat to me. That's just to me. I mean, it's losing me. Yeah. But I respect the artists. I respect the artists on stage now. I'm truly down.
I want to speak on that. It's beef down here on the end. I think what we get away from as artists as a whole is worrying about what everybody else is doing and how the music sound to you. And like just because you do one form of music and one type of music doesn't make that the form and type of music for everybody. And there's a market for every kind of music, no matter what you do and where you at. You just got to find your lane, find where they pushing your music at, find that club that's spinning and people jigging to what you doing, and just make your own way in that lane that you're going in. Because the thing about it is everybody chase the radio like they said, but the radio is set up for kids, man. Kids and women, probably from the age of 14 or 13 to 28. I'm going to just be honest. Like, when you at work, you don't listen to the radio, but that chick sitting at the desk typing on them papers and stuff do. So it's pretty much what they want to hear, what they want to listen to, and they've been behind a desk all day. So when they go to the club, they want to party, man. So it's always going to be It's always going to be a lane for party music. It's always going to be a lane for real music. You know what you want to listen to when you're on the highway. You might listen to some Rick Ross or somebody else that make more sense to you. I'm just saying, to you. But when you in the club, they really don't want to hear that all night. Like, the DJ get fired. I'm just saying.
That's the problem, I feel, because everybody think about everybody thinking about themselves. Of course, you can sell if you're confident and everything, but if people actually cared about the game and stuff like that, really they wouldn't.
The game, hip hop is a form of expression, and nobody feel exactly how you feel. Like I do. Like, I used to put out certain kind of songs, and no DJ would ever play it. Then I started doing club songs, and now I got 5, 6 songs in the club, man. It's really, you just got to find what worked for you and do it, because at the end of the day, we all here trying to figure out how to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so go find the good music.
But this
yeah.
But your mama was saying the same thing you saying right now. Turn off that garbage.
Yeah, so, no, I agree. I agree totally with you, and it's funny because I've been, like I said, I've done panels and conferences. I've been in music. I've been with Jive Records. This is my 22nd year with Jive Records. I've been a DJ for 36 years, right? Thank you. And
it's only 40.
See, I might have to cut my check now. Anyway, but what I want to say is, A, I love the radio. I love the radio, right? Because the radio does something that we all should do, which is accept change. The radio accepts change. It embraces change. And when you stop embracing change, you become old school. That's really, man, I'm old school. I ain't with that. I'm old school. You feel me? But the radio can't be old school. The radio has to embrace change. And as a DJ, I've always looked for that new record, to play that new record. I've always listened to the radio to hear that new record that they play and they embrace, and that new artist that they embrace and they like. And there's a whole bunch of artists in here, new, who want to be that next new artist and who want to be embraced and are younger. And so they're going to come up and grow up with the sounds that they know and that they like. And of course they're going to be different than the sounds that you may like. But they're embracing change. The radio's embracing change. So it's not like, it's just life. You evolve in life. So it's not like they're playing bad music. It's just different music from you. My dad loved jazz. Loved jazz. I couldn't stand jazz growing up. I love disco. I love disco. My dad was like, how you like that disco crap? What he liked Count Basie and Sarah Vaughan. You know? So, but the one thing in life that I think music lovers should do is embrace change and embrace new music. Because guess what? Good music is just that. It's good music. I like Laffy Taffy, just like I like Whoop There It Is, just like I like the Macarena, just like I like I Invented Sex, just like I like Lloyd and Yung Joc's records. You feel me? Because it was good music at what they did. So don't hate, congratulate.
Hey, I just wanted to say, this may be out of my lane a little bit, but Lupe is a realist, and he's a hip-hop artist, and he got a really dope track going on a radio right now, and he's not speaking of any, like, you know, girl shake it, you know what I'm saying, but he's a dope hip-hop artist. He got a dope beat, and it's going for Lupe, and I say if he's a hip-hop artist, and that's his lane, and that's where he want to go, because hip-hop can be played in the club. I mean, I just love Lupe. Sorry, I'm a Lupe fan. And I say get a dope beat and still do your hip-hop thing while you going with it. I mean, that's another thing.
And he was #1 when his album first dropped, too, by the way. So it do work.
Mike, you got to
At this time.
Columbia recording artist Sean Garrett.
Okay.
No, I mean,
Ladies and
you know what?
gentlemen.
It's got to be bigger than that, though.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I said it because I want you to say it.
No, we will, and we will. I will. Thank you for the show me how to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing writer extraordinaire and Columbia recording artist, Mr. Sean Garrett.
The pen.
The pen, ladies and gentlemen. How was that? Was that okay?
No, that was good. That was good. Thank you.
Hey, I knew this dude when he used to drive a green.
Uh-oh.
It was a green Mitsubishi Mirage. He had North Carolina plates. He had just moved from North Carolina. He moved to Atlanta to pursue music. He was always talented, but Atlanta had more opportunity, and he came out there to find more opportunity for his music. I was one of the first artists that he had the chance to work with that actually had a deal at the time. He was the first person that ever let me write on my own music, on my own track.
He took his shades off for that. That's love.
Because
like,
because I want y'all to know that that in my opinion that none of this is rocket science. That it's really not hard. It's just notes and sounds and feeling. And if the feeling is there, then it usually feel good to other people. But if the feeling ain't there, you can't force it and you can't buy it in the store. It's just like some of us just happen to be born with a gift. Some of us have the gift of music. And even with that being said, just because you have a gift that God gave you doesn't mean that you gave it to yourself. So you got to sometimes look in the mirror and just ask yourself, if you're doing everything that you can to make whatever it is that you're doing better, to be a better you, to be the best that you're trying to be. And a lot of times, I think that you take for granted what God gave you, like a voice or a charisma to get a girl. I mean, you just kind of take it to head. You think it's all me. But what you realize is that when you first start, it's always going to be really innocent, and it's going to be really passionate, and it's going to be, I just love making music, and that's why I'm doing this, and I do it for free. And then you realize that you have a gift, and you start to make money, and you start to become a business. And when you enter business, I just want y'all to know, because I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to let Sean take my seat. When you enter a business, it's so important that you develop good habits. And habits develop over a span of 30 days. So whatever you do every day for 30 days is a habit. And if you develop good habits, then you usually will be the best and you'll be successful. If you feel like you got habits that will break you, you got to let them go right now. Because our friends or the people around us or just the bad habits that we develop, they hold us back. And I think that everybody in this room got a gift. Y'all blessed. And for real, y'all all deserve to be everything you want to be, because I ain't no better or different than y'all. But I'm a testament to y'all that it's possible if you develop good habits and you be around good people and you just really, really, really always just keep a good feeling. And no matter what I do, I just try to keep good people. I keep a good feeling around me. And that's why I grabbed the mic and told y'all about Sean. It's not because nobody asked me a question or it's my obligation. It's just because I feel in my heart that it's because of people like this who believe in stuff that can't be seen. Because I seen him argue with his producers about songs that never even came out. But he wrote hits, #1 hits. And I seen him in the studio argue with people like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Man, this is a hit. This sounds great. Nah, man, let me write the song. And they go back and forth. And then I think even for him later on to see him become successful, he can look back at people and say, I knew what I was talking about. And I think a lot of people in here, y'all know what y'all talking about. I mean, y'all don't need us to tell you what you already know. It's not rocket science. All you got to do is just believe and dedicate yourself. Just give your life to this. If this is what you want to do, you got to eat, sleep, and shit this. And if you do, you will really, really realize that it's really possible. It's really easy, and it's so much room for all of us to be successful. And I love y'all very much. And peace.
Lloyd, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, y'all. Let me piggyback on what Lloyd was saying, because I wanted to be clear. I think he was trying to say a lot too in a very short period of time. But my name is Sean Garrett. I go by the name The Pen, and basically this was the first artist that I worked with in Atlanta, right? And we both were very young. And I wanted to make it really clear when we talk about the process of arguing with the producer or having a passion for something. Every time that I had a contest, I contested a producer or a person that I was making music with, it was because it came from a genuine place. It came from my heart. You know what I mean? So when I'm working with different artists, I can give you 3 hits that I did that was basically told, this ain't a hit record. One of those records was called Yeah for Usher. That was my first #1 record. The second song was Run It for Chris Brown. Another record was a record for Beyonce, and it was called Ring the Alarm. And the reason that it's so clear for you to practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice is because this is not a cookie cutter scenario. This is not something that happens overnight. I've been knowing him since he was 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? And he's well on his way to being a superstar right now. You know what I mean? And we seen each other grow up, but it's just so much involved in this game. It's not just getting in the game, making a CD or making a demo and then saying, yo, I need to get on, I need to make money. And I'm not trying to be, make it seem like it's so difficult, because it's not. But it's got to come from a pure place. You know what I'm saying? You got to put it's like you starting a business. You got to put your best efforts in the best place at the best time to get you there the quickest. You know what I'm saying? You can't be doing things to work backwards. You can't be, if you out the streets, get out the streets. You can't be in the streets and still trying to do music. There's a couple people that I know had become very successful, but they still was in the streets. We all know what the streets is. We all come from the streets. You know what I'm saying? But if you're trying to move forward, you got to put your best foot forward and make a decision. You going to stay in the streets, or you going to try to take this stuff for real? You know what I'm saying? And that's what's become evident for me. I just had my 17th #1 record. No one can never take that away from you either. You know what I'm saying? There's been so much that I had to go through and endure through this whole process of becoming Sean Garrett the Pen. Every accolade that I've been able to have has been a moment of seeing some of these guys in my whole, career. You know what I'm saying? I know Mr. Wayne Williams. I know, CJ, who's from my record label. I know Lloyd. There's a few other people here that I'm very familiar with, but it's a whole process, and I want to encourage y'all. I talk to y'all. I talk to a lot of the fans every day. I talk to y'all on my Twitter. I send out the Sean Garrett HD. I try to show y'all as much as I possibly can. I try to give so much back. I give a Louis bag out every show because I want fans to know. I want the females to know in different places that I give a damn. I care about y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's not about y'all spending money to come see me. It's about me giving back and letting y'all know that I still understand y'all in the struggle. You know what I'm saying? We all in the struggle. We all trying to get to another level of our life, and I think that's what everybody on this table, on this panel, is about. Everybody up here is still trying to get to a certain plateau. You know what I'm saying? So don't feel like, you're there and we're here, and it's like you're at a level that you're never going to be able to see. You know what I'm saying? So it's all love. I didn't mean to get all deep.
Oh, it's all good. Sean Garrett, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go to some more questions. Oh, you got?
Hold up. I said we got some contests right now. Get your cell phones out real quick. We're giving away a trip to the Essence Music Festival today. While you're here, somebody's going to win. Hey, somebody's going to win a trip to kick it with Diddy in Chicago right now. Write this down. Okay, hold on. Text the word smoothie to 67664.
Wait, how you spell that?
Smoothie. SMOOTHIE. For the trip to the Essence Music Festival. 67664. Text the word smoothie. Somebody's going to win that trip today. They're going to the Essence Music Festival this summer.
Text that to where, Reg?
Can we win too, Reg?
Yeah.
Up here on the panel. Where
do I text it?
Text the word Kool-Aid to.
No, that's not right.
Also, the trip for Diddy. Text the word Diddy to 67664 to kick it with Diddy in Chi-Town. Take that. 67664. Text the word Diddy or smoothie. Do it both. Mike Love, it's on you, buddy.
All right. We got about 10 more minutes of questions. So what we're going to do or try to do is not only get as many people as we can, but hopefully just have one person on the panel just touch on whatever the person asks. Okay?
Hi, my name is Bianca, and I'm from Milwaukee. And I started not to come up here because I felt like my question was going to be answered. But what is the best advice that you can give me as far as songwriting? As far as how do you songwrite? What do you go off of as far as feeling? Do you have to be born with the gift of songwriting? Because, I mean, I try to songwrite, but I get frustrated with it because the words can't come out. And, you know, that traps me in a lot of ways.
You remember the first kiss you ever had?
Yes.
You remember the way that made you feel?
Yes.
You remember the first time you was on a date and you heard your favorite song? You remember that? And you was like, oh, that's my song, boy.
Yeah. It happened to be an old
You remember
song.
the first time you cry, or you know that feeling that you get when you're so passionate, you're so upset that you cry about something?
Yeah.
Or you're so angry that you say stuff that you don't mean?
Right. Yeah.
I think all of those is what makes the best songwriting.
Okay.
At least for me personally, I like to, whenever I hear a song that makes me feel like a certain time in my life, or remember, or takes me back to a special moment, or that first kiss, or the first time I made love, or that kind of thing, that's my favorite songs.
Okay.
And it's just, I don't know, you got close, you just got to dig deep and just find that feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
How you guys doing all today? My name is Hefe. I represent Hardcore Entertainment, and just God blessed me today to even let me be here with you guys. I am so amped and so geeked right now, I don't even think this is real right now. I'm serious. Joc, when they was hating on you, I was in your corner. All right? Lloyd, you doing your thing. Sean, you doing your thing too, man. Hey, Knowledge, you know it's 100, okay? I'm sorry, I'm going to wrap it up. Basically, my question is, I'm from the streets, and I've been in the streets so hard, but I'm to the point right now where the little money is not worth it, so I want to do this music. So what can I do with no following, no backing, no support, without sending myself to prison, trying to keep up with this competition, with the level of equipment, the level of swag, just stuff like that? What can I do? Because sometimes I feel like I'm the only person that believes in me. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of messed up.
Hey, swag don't cost no money, man. I had swag when we was broke. I mean,
you know what I'm saying, though, Brody.
You just make. I mean, it's really the blessing about, in my opinion, the blessing about being black that I love so much is that it's almost, and this is no offense to anyone else, but because of a lot of our situations, we were forced to make something out of nothing or out of little, and I think that anytime you got an idea, you got the vision, and you got the heart to stomach it, I think that there's ways to work around the money issues that you're talking about. Because that seems like the biggest dilemma is just the equipment, which costs money, but the swag is free. I mean,
you know what I'm saying, though?
Hey, let Joc, go ahead.
It's crazy because, like, I'm going to give it to you from a real standpoint because you talking about them streets. And, like, you know, a lot of rappers rap about it and be talking like, you know, they really from these streets, and they talk about another cat story. My situation sounds so much like yours, man, because I was tired of even dealing with the streets. I got a partner right now who was my business partner who walked in with me with Block to meet Diddy, my partner who was putting the money up behind me. Well, I was sitting here like trying to get out the streets because I got kids and a lady, and I'm trying to do this because it's like, okay, if I'm doing this and I'm going to support my family, right, and I'm trying to chase a dream and support what I've been wanting to do, am I going to go in reverse? Because if the little money I'm making, I'm using that to support what I'm trying to do. If I get caught up, then it's like a catch-22. It's like I'm now my family without me because I might end up dead or, you know what I'm saying, locked up. And like right now, it's crazy because I can say it now because it's already happened. My partner had that work on my mama. Like, studio downstairs, I walk upstairs and it's 100 pounds in the living room. And I'm like,
It's a tough decision to make when you're trying to feed your
yeah.
family. And you're trying to sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to go back down.
But here's the difference. But let me tell you what it is. He just said a word. It's that to stomach it. To say, you know what, it ain't gonna take that. I just gotta figure it out. Cause it's somebody right now, it's some rich folks right now who didn't have nothing either, and they ain't have to go that route to get it. You know what I'm saying? And like right now, my partner was looking at a life sentence. He got caught. He got caught up with some of them things, and then he doing 10. You know what I'm saying? I could have been right there with him because I chose to make that my business partner, but I chose to not. It's hard though, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you straight up, like you said the first time, man, you gotta keep God first, bro, because at the end of the day, man, it's so simple. I mean, like, how much money you really gonna make off the work? You know what I'm saying? By the time you make your little profit, and by the time you make your little profit, and when you live that lifestyle, you gotta play with the lifestyle a little bit too. Once you play a little bit, then you really back to square one, because the rest of the money just re-up. So you really got to just take the time to say, is it really worth it? Like you said, man, like Sean said, if you're going to really do it, man, do that shit, man. Don't be scared because you got to be balls to the wall, man. I'm talking about all the way 100 with it. You got to be true with yourself first. Forget flexing and fronting for anybody on the scene who was like, oh, well, he ain't got no street cred. I don't give a damn about no street cred, man. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's where your heart at, dog. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to do it, man. Salute to that. Real talk, man. Just go for what you know, man.
There it is.
Hey, and God, last thing, man. My brother right here, and God wouldn't, I put it like this, the size of the challenge indicates the size of the blessing. So as hard as the challenge is, God got a bigger blessing for that challenge, my brother.
Yeah. No. I'm going to add something to that because before I got to Capitol Records and Warner Brothers before that, I did a lot of independent promotion in Chicago. I worked with a lot of street cats. Tons. I ain't even going to sit up here and BS on that. They putting them records out. They were trying to put them records out. I had one client get shot up and killed in a car wash. So you got to make the decision about what you want to do. And it's not, you can't straddle. It's either you in or you out. Then you headed in the right direction, homie. Because it's all that love.
Thanks, man.
And you right here. That's real talk.
There it is. We got time.
Right here. Everybody in here is a brother and sister with you on that.
All right.
No doubt.
Yeah, how y'all doing tonight? Today, I was really on here. I'm an artist. I write songs, I produce, and I do a little rapping. Really, as far as y'all saying about like the internet networking, a lot of these artists or like about going around the record labels. I understand it's a business. What's the best venue like as far as networking on the internet? Because I know a lot of people do it wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, what's the most effective ways I could use the internet to my advantage?
I would say to start, we all use the same channels. Everyone's got a Facebook. Everyone's got their Twitter. There's different sites. I think it's how you market yourself. We're all kind of using the same tools. What are you going to do that's going to set yourself apart from another artist? What is going to make a record rep pay attention or an executive pay attention to your project as opposed to someone else? And I think it comes down to creativity. You have to be creative. You have to be creative when you market yourself. It might come off crazy at first, but to be honest with you, crazy could be good. Crazy gets people's attention sometimes. You don't want to put someone off, but at the same time, you got to be different. We're all in the same game. We got the same tools. You got to set yourself apart. That would be my advice.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for the question and answer because we are out of time with this entire segment. We'd like to thank everybody on our panel. Please give our panel a round of applause. Artists, producers, writers, label executives.
Hey, and in closing, I just want to encourage everybody not to speed up your blessing. Take that time that God give you to improve and perfect your craft. Don't try to speed your blessing up.
Hey, when I give you these keys, homeboy, don't move my car, man. I'm right in the front.